The clock is ticking on one of the NBA's most unexpected yet electrifying stories. And Dub Nation, you're about to be at the center of it all, because the whisper that's been echoing from the shadows of Hollywood to the glittering bay is growing louder by the day. Could Austin Reaves, the undrafted warrior who clawed his way into Lakers lore, be slipping through LA's fingers and landing in Golden State? Welcome back to Warriors News Fan Report, where raw truths collide with splashy air of passion. Smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so your heart never misses a beat. Now, let's peel back the layers on this saga. Austin Reaves isn't just another role player. Last season, the man exploded onto the scene as a bona fide scoring threat and playmaking maestro, averaging over 20 points, nearly 5 boards, and nearly 6 assists per game, despite a Lakers squad burdened by injuries, inconsistent stars, and a first-round playoff exit that still haunts the purple and gold faithful. He was the bright spot in a dim season, battling alongside a duo of future Hall of Famers and proving he could hold his ground when the spotlight scorched the court. But here's where the drama intensifies. Insiders like Jovan Buha, renowned for his pulse on Lakers' inner workings, recently dropped the bombshell. They're penciling Reaves in as a $30 to $35 million per year player, neck and neck financially, with scorers like Emmanuel Quickley and Tyler Herro, both of whom have earned massive extensions due to their offensive firepower and playoff performances. Buha pushes the narrative hard. He expects the Lakers to prioritize locking Reaves down on a multi-year deal topping $120 million, arguing that the undrafted guard actually outshines many in that tier. He paints a picture of Reaves as a loyal soldier who's already told the world he wants to be a Laker for life, turning down extensions before because he's betting on himself to have a monster-proving year, knowing that the leverage he earns could redefine his legacy and market value. Sounds like a script straight out of a sports movie, right? Yet here's the complication, the nuance that keeps the basketball world buzzing. Reaves' value is still being questioned, not for lack of talent, but because the Lakers front office has been hamstrung by roster balance, salary cap tightropes, and the looming shadow of the LeBron-Doncic dynamic that's reshaping LA's championship blueprint. Comparisons to Quickley and Herro aren't just surface level. These are players coming off Rookie of the Year nods and All-Star appearances, exploding offensive breakthroughs that justify their paychecks. Meanwhile, Reaves' incredible hustle and all-around game might still lack those head-turning accolades. So are the Lakers ready to commit that kind of money when there's a delicate dance of cap space, star powers, and draft picks at stake? And here's the real twist of rumors that have been simmering beneath the surface. What if the Warriors front office, always thinking 3 steps ahead, sees in Reaves exactly the kind of versatile, high IQ guard who can slot perfectly alongside Curry, Clay, and Draymond? Imagine that Warriors fans adding a scrappy, fearless competitor who's proven he can shine under pressure, who blends gritty defense with the ability to create his own shot and elevate the entire team's playmaking. Given Golden State's own pursuit of roster depth and the way they value culture and heart. Think back to the We Believe days or the dogged tenacity of their 2022 title run. Could Reaves be the missing puzzle piece primed to boost their title chase when the salary cap crunches and Lakers negotiations reach a fever pitch? What's more, consider this. The Lakers have endured a tumultuous offseason, juggling the futures of superstars like LeBron James and Luka Doncic, while trying to maximize those final championship windows. Austin Reaves turns 27 soon, entering what many call the prime years of a guard's career, with the 2025-26 season looming as his ultimate proving ground to demonstrate he's not just a third option on a team of legends, but a rising star worthy of a premium payday. But what if he falters? What if the Lakers, desperate for star-driven synergy and playoff success, opt to gamble on youth or other big fish in the free agency pond? That's when whispers of a Warrior swoop get intoxicatingly real. Golden State has cap space, a proven system, and a locker room that has nurtured unheralded talent into championship difference makers. Plus, with the likes of Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody continuing their growth and Draymond's leadership never waning, an addition like Reaves could elevate their secondary offense and take pressure off Curry and Clay in that next grueling playoff gauntlet. And yet, here's the question no one's answering outright. Will Reaves' own heart pull him towards the bright lights of L.A., where loyalty runs deep but pressure is suffocating? Or will the allure of rejoining the Warriors dynasty, where the ultimate splash is part of the DNA, beckon him west to the Bay? As negotiations grind forward behind closed doors, as the Lakers weigh whether to commit blockbuster dollars amid a volatile roster, and as Warriors insiders quietly celebrate their potential front office coup, the stakes couldn't be higher, not just for Austin, but for the futures of two historic franchises. Dub Nation, this isn't just about contracts or cap sheets. It's about legacy, loyalty, and that raw, unfiltered grind that defines a bucket-getter's career. Think about Clay's Game 6 and how a role player can transform into a legend when the moment demands it. This next offseason could be the ignition point for our next title run, or conversely, the crack that splits our legacy wide open. As a lifelong Dub Nation believer, my pulse is racing just writing this, feeling the electricity of possibility coursing through the veins of this saga. So I'll leave it to you. What's your take on Austin Reaves' future? Lakers lifer or the next splash in Golden State's juggernaut? Drop your unfiltered takes in the comments. I'll be right there, heart in hand, riding this roller coaster with you every step of the way. The air in the Chase Center just turned electric, crackling with the kind of tension that could explode into history or shatter a fan base's soul forever. If you're as locked in as I am for Warriors News Fan Report, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a second of the drama from the Bay to the Chase Center. When we left off, the seismic tremors of a potential blockbuster trade were rippling through the league now. As the dust begins to settle, every Dub Nation heartbeat is in overdrive, trying to piece together what the hell comes next. The Warriors front office, master architects of past dynasties, faces arguably their toughest strategic labyrinth. Yet, do they double down on the core we know and love, or pivot toward an audacious rebuild that either catapults them back to the throne, or sends the whole thing spiraling? Steph Curry's twilight years are whispering louder, the clock ticking on Klay Thompson's prime, and Draymond Green's defensive genius is still the anchor. But how do they stitch together these individual pieces into a seamless puzzle if some of those pieces are about to be uprooted? The trade rumors swirling around key role players and rising bench stars are not just footnotes. They are seismic shifts with ripples that threaten to change everything from on-court chemistry to leadership dynamics in the locker room. Imagine the integration challenges of bringing in fresh talent mid-season or right before training camp. Will new faces mesh seamlessly with the Warriors' fluid, selfless style, or will the locker room fracture under the weight of uncertainty? Salary cap constraints add another layer of chess here, with fewer chips to play and the luxury tax looming like a sword over Bob Myers' budget maneuvers. Historically, this isn't new territory. Remember the sleepless nights leading up to the 2015 draft, when the seeds for that first title run were planted against all odds? Or the gut-wrenching 73-9 season that ended in heartbreak but forged a team identity around resilience and rebirth? This current crossroads calls on that same gritty DNA, but here's the twist no one saw coming. Word out of the league is that there's a Darkhorse contender in the trade market, a team willing to flip a veteran star for a package that could include a young Warrior prospect plus draft picks. That's the kind of gamble that could either elevate the Warriors into an elite next-gen core or lead them scrambling for cohesion if the chemistry doesn't ignite. The chessboard also includes the Warriors' unique culture. Will Steve Kerr's coaching genius find a way to integrate new pieces without losing the soul of the system that's won 3 titles? And let's not forget how Golden State's player development machine has been crucial in turning role players into impact contributors. Could the rumored acquisitions be the missing jigsaw piece to plug offensive gaps that haunted the last season, or will it dilute the magic that has made this team so distinct? Dub Nation, this is about more than just wins and losses. It's about identity, history, and the future. Are the Warriors about to press the accelerator and rewrite the narrative like they did with the 2015 championship run? Or are these challenges foreshadowing a reckoning that could lead to painful but necessary reinvention? The emotional stakes can't be overstated. Every fan holds in their heart memories of game-winning threes, seismic Game 6 heroics, and the electric feeling of a dynasty defying odds, and now faces the terrifying prospect of those memories becoming relics. As the trade talks escalate, the locker room vibe is rumored to be a blend of cautious optimism, mixed with palpable tension. Players who have given everything to the franchise are faced with the possibility of their roles shrinking or disappearing altogether, and younger guys on the cusp of breaking out are watching closely to see who's sticking and who's moving on. Meanwhile, the front office's maneuvering isn't limited to trade talks. They're juggling contract extensions, vet options, and luxury tax calculations in a high-stakes game that could define this era of Warriors basketball. It's a high wire act, balancing the financial realities with the desire to compete now while positioning the team for sustained success. Dub Nation, can you feel the weight of this moment? This is the kind of franchise-defining crossroads that few teams encounter, and even fewer survive without scars. What comes next won't just shape the next season. It could set a trajectory that either sparks another dynasty run or triggers a rebuild so profound that the league's balance of power tilts for years. Think about it, this isn't just about wins and losses on a schedule. It's about the DNA of Dub Nation being rewritten in real time. Every contract discussion, every locker room glance, every quiet meeting between front office executives is another thread in the tapestry of what the Warriors will become. And as we stand here, toes hanging over the edge of whatever's coming, I can't shake the question, are we watching the ignition of our next great push, or the fracture that sends everything crashing down in slow motion? Picture the possibilities. Steph Curry, still the gravitational center of everything, adapting yet again to a shifting roster while fighting against time itself. Draymond Green, the heartbeat and chaos engine, trying to glue together a locker room that's had more moving parts in the last 2 years than in the previous 5 combined. Klay Thompson, the silent sniper, now facing a future where his role could evolve in ways none of us saw coming. And then there's the next generation Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, Brandon Podziemski, players with flashes of brilliance that make you believe, but still living in the tension between potential and proof. That's the crossroad we're standing at. The Warriors have been here before. In 2014, they gambled on Steve Kerr, and it set off the chain reaction that brought 3 titles. In 2016, they pushed chips in for Kevin Durant, and the league bent around us. But boldness can cut both ways. Remember the post-Durant injury. Chaos in 2019, when the dynasty looked like it had ended overnight. The decisions looming now feel like they carry that same weight. A blockbuster trade could supercharge a final championship run with Steph at the helm. Or it could gut the very chemistry that's made this team special. Standing pat could preserve that bond but leave us vulnerable in a West where the Nuggets, Timberwolves, and even the rejuvenated Spurs are waiting to pounce. Sound off in the comments. Dub Nation, I'll be there in the thick of it with you, riding every high, every heartbreak, because this isn't just sports to us, it's identity. I can feel it in my bones. This moment demands patience and belief, but also the courage to act when the window's open. The Warriors have never been afraid to swing for the fences, and history tells us that when they do, they don't just make headlines. They redefine what's possible in the game of basketball. Still, it's not just about front office moves. It's about how this team responds on the floor, in the grind of January road trips, in the heat of April playoff battles. Will we see the defensive rotations tighten, the ball movement sharpen into that hypnotic blur we've loved for a decade? Will the bench depth, something that's wavered in recent years, finally become a weapon again? Will Kuminga take that leap from exciting to unstoppable? giving Steph and Klay the support they need without overloading their legs before the postseason? These are the questions that keep us up at night. And here's the truth: whatever path they choose, the ride's far from over. We're strapping into a roller coaster that's going to whip us through moments of elation and gut-punch disappointment, often in the same week. That's what it means to be part of Dub Nation. You don't get to coast. You get to feel everything. And that's why I'll be here for every twist, every loop, every time we feel like we're flying, and every time it feels like the track might give out beneath us. This season, more than any in recent memory, feels like a living, breathing test of who we are as a franchise. The stakes aren't just about chasing another trophy. They're about deciding what kind of team the Warriors will be when the Steph era finally gives way to what comes next. Will we be the blueprint for sustaining greatness, or a cautionary tale about how quickly it can all unravel? Whatever happens, buckle in, because the ride, it's just getting started.